20 Houston Street, Charlottetown, PEI, Residential Energy Audit, prepared for Philip Weeks by Heather Arsenault. The property is 1,480 square feet, was constructed in 1815, is a single detached with 15 windows, 2 exterior doors. It uses an oil boiler combo for its heat and domestic hot water, and had an air leakage rate at 50 pascals of 3.84 exchanges per hour, according to the blower door test. In comparison to other recently audited properties, the ACH of your home is very good due to previous renovations. The solar orientation here is 43 degrees southwest. While this is not ideal, there is some opportunity for solar gains should you choose to explore solar power in the future. The audit was performed on February 2, 2015, with an outside temperature of negative 19 degrees Celsius and an indoor temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity was 35 to 45% throughout the home. For ease of comparison, we have changed your oil usage to kilowatt hours. There's approximately 10.7 kilowatt hours per liter of fuel oil. This allows us to more easily compare your electrical and heating and domestic hot water use. Your totals were approximately 44,434 kilowatt hours per year, which translates to a total dollar value of approximately $4,996, with $3,934 of that being used by heat and domestic hot water. It can be seen here that there is consistently more energy being utilized in the heating season months. This is to be expected as the days are shorter, which means lights are on more often, and with the colder weather causing the boiler to operate more often. While water in Charlottetown is not currently metered, it is moving in that direction and will soon be a financial consideration as well as an ecological one. With the suggested upgrades here, you could have an approximate water savings of 107 liters per day. For example, every time you flush the toilet currently, you use approximately 13 liters of water, with the consequence of also having to heat that water up to room temperature. With a more efficient toilet, you would use less than half that amount. HOT 2000 analyzed the specifications of your home and determined that the largest consumers of energy were heat and domestic hot water, with a total of 90%. With the suggested upgrades, you could save approximately 4,000 kilowatt hours per year. The heat loss in your home is mostly due to ventilation at 31%. Also, a considerable amount of heat is being lost through the basement and the walls. Humidity levels in the home were 33% in the living quarters and 45% in the basement. These are well within the normal range, although the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation suggests that you may wish to keep humidity levels below 30% in the heating season in order to reduce the risk of condensation developing on the inside of windows. The best way to reduce your humidity is to identify all moisture entry and air leakage points. Reduce air leakage using weather stripping and caulking, insulate all thermal bridges, and install a humidex in the basement. Thermal imagery, often referred to as infrared photography, allows us to capture temperature differences between surrounding objects and detect where thermal bridging and heat loss is occurring. It can also show us where moisture damage may have occurred. The back door light switch is one area where you can see improvement, along with the attic hatch where you can see a lack of air sealing or perhaps insulation is causing a significant temperature difference. On the left, you can see a corner of the kitchen where there is some possible thermal bridging. And on the right, you see the fireplace where there appears to be considerable air leakage. Some opportunities for improvement include where the doors, where you could install some weather stripping door sweeps, caulking to both sides of the door trim, as well as around the window within the door. You can improve the windows by applying window film insulation in winter months, applying caulking around the window trim and frame, and heavier curtains kept closed at night can help prevent heat loss. The attic hatch could be retrofitted for air sealing and insulation. Walls are also a significant source of heat loss. It is suggested that you install wall plate gaskets on all electrical outlets, caulking to all seams, and ensure that any penetrations to the outdoors are properly sealed. Some areas could benefit from additional insulation when the siding needs replacement. It is also suggested that you spray foam the headers in the basement, and consideration may also be given to insulating this floor, but this may require additional work to be performed to ensure that the pipes don't freeze in the basement. Other suggestions for energy savings opportunities are installing aerators on your sink faucets to restrict flow or replacing with more efficient faucets, replacing your current 13-liter per flush toilets with low-flow 6-liter per flush models or dual flush models, adding an insulating blanket on the hot water heater, and investigating the possibility of drain water heat recovery. Replace all high-duty cycle bulbs with LEDs. Lower duty cycle bulbs may not be economically feasible for replacement. It is suggested that you put all office and entertainment equipment on a power bar and shut off when not in use. Although the current boiler is in good repair and is still running at 77% efficiency, when an upgrade becomes necessary, an air source heat pump would be advised. After proper air sealing and insulation upgrades have been performed, there is a possibility of installing an air source heat pump to meet some of your heating needs. To qualify for a provincial incentive, it must have an SEER of 14.5 and an HSPF of at least 8.35. The current windows are in good condition and do not need to be replaced. As you can see, there would be no significant savings in kilowatt hours. Although when the siding needs replacement, consider adding additional insulation. As you can see, there is considerable heat loss through the main walls. The PEI provincial government offers an incentive program for energy efficiency upgrades. For a low-flow toilet, for example, your current has a 13-liter per flush rating. With an improvement to 6 liters per flush, the cost of the toilet varies depending on the model, but there is an incentive of $50 per fixture, as long as it meets uniform North American requirements. In conclusion, I will provide you with a full copy of this report, including all relevant data. Some notes of caution are provided in the formatted upgrade report. I have also included some links to further information for your convenience.